Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have successfully moved into my new residence. I got my office all set up, so hopefully we'll get some more videos here soon. And today I actually have a very fun one for you, as I will be doing my King Gizzard album tier list. I know I've done top 10 lists before, or top 15 lists. I think I might have done one King Gizzard album tier list at some point. But I know that if I have done one, we have at least 6 or 7 more albums in consideration, and my opinions on the older albums has definitely changed over the years, so definitely gonna be a lot of surprises in this one if you've seen my previous stuff. Not gonna go too much into detail. I'm pretty sure you all know how tier lists work. I feel like a lot of Gizz fans give their own tier lists, so however, I've been told I'm like the best King Gizzard fan, the most passionate, so I really do think my opinion probably means a lot more. So no offense to anyone out there with their own tier list, but I'm gonna make yours irrelevant with this one. So just an apologies to everyone, but yeah, and no need to get angry about my opinions because they're right. All right, we got the tier list right here. Like I said, I don't need to really explain it, but we got S, A, B, C, and F. I don't know if we'll have any albums in F tier, but that's what it's for. All right, I have these kind of in a random order just to make it fun. I mean, it's not just how they came out. So we're starting off with a really good one. We have PetroDragonic Apocalypse. And you know what? I know we're starting out fast here, but Petro is an S-ranked album. I just think there are so many bangers on it. I love Infest the Rat's Nest, don't get me wrong. I just think that Petro, the songs hit harder, I guess, and I love the flow that it has. Not saying Rat's Nest, I mean, we'll get into Rat's Nest later, I'll save that, but I just really love Petro. I think there's really not a bad song on it. Even Gila Monster, which I thought was just all right, has really grown on me, especially in a live setting. So PetroDragonic Apocalypse is an S. All right, we have another one of my favorites with Murder of the Universe, and of course this one's gonna go in S as well. I love the Altered Beast suite that opens up the album. I think it's probably the best, although I really love the Hand Tayumi suite at the end as well. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm not super crazy on the middle section. I mean, Lord of Lightning and the Belrog are good, but Acrid Corpse and Floating Fire, not bad songs by any means, but I don't know. It just kind of makes it my least favorite part of the album, but the other parts more than make up for it, and it's definitely S. All right, we have another really, really good one with I'm in Your Mind, Fuzz, which was actually my very first Gizz album. When I met a Gizz head, I had heard of the band before, but he was like, you need to listen to King Gizzard. So I did some research. I was like, what is the best album to start out with? And everyone said Mind Fuzz. So that's the one I did, and look at me now. So I think that alone speaks for why Mind Fuzz also is in S. It's just so good, and it's a classic for a reason. You got the Mind Fuzz medley to start out the album, and then the rest of it is definitely pretty good. Am I in Heaven? I definitely enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to, but it's still pretty good. Satan Speeds Up is definitely one that I kind of slept on for a while, but yeah, just so much good in Mind Fuzz, and it's an S. So. And we're going to go to another really good album, Paper Mâché Dream Balloon, which came out after or before Mind Fuzz. I always forget. I'm pretty sure it came out after, but Paper Mâché Dream Balloon is a legendary album. It's all acoustic. I just feel like no song in this album outstays its welcome. I think every song, it expresses an idea, and then it moves on to the next one before you can even get tired of it. So Paper Mâché Dream Balloon is awesome. I really enjoy the closing track because it's just like a cool little run through of the entire album again. So I think that puts it over the top for me in regarding to me putting it in S tier. All right, so we actually have the brand new album, which I have not done a review yet for. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely do enjoy doing reviews, but I feel like these are kind of the videos I like to enjoy. I enjoy making more, so reviews, I mean, I'll definitely try to make one for Be Some More one soon, but until then, I guess you'll just have to see with where I put it on the ranking, and I am also putting it in S. And I did not expect this. When Flight B741 came out, I was like, I don't know. Is it too country for my taste? Is it just not for me? Is this the first Gizz album I'm gonna genuinely dislike? But that's not the case at all. I listened to the album a few more times, and now I think it's a banger of an album. and especially the live performances have been so good, and I just can't say enough good things about B741. You'll have to stay tuned until my review, but until then, it's an S. All right, next is Gumboot Soup, which was the last album of the 2017 album marathon Slamma Jamma Jamboree. And I know I'm surprised by how much people don't really enjoy this album, which I think is crazy. I think it's excellent. I think that just the variety of genres is really great. The Omnium Gatherum, Oddments kind of thing. But I will say, I think Gumboot Soup has some of the most forgettable, not in a bad way, but some of the most forgettable Gizz songs for me, and maybe it's just because the whole album doesn't really flow together, or I don't know. I feel like some of the songs, like Superposition, it's still a good one, but Last Oasis, I'm Sleeping In, nothing against those tracks, but I just think they're a little bit forgettable. But Down the Sink, Barefoot Desert, Greenhouse Heat Death, Great Chain of Being, I think those songs are so good that it's enough to put Gumboot in S rank as well. All right, next up we are going to be talking about Fishing for Fishies, which is kind of funny because it is very similar to Flight B741, at least in my opinion. And it's definitely one of the first albums I checked out, and I was very into it when I first listened to it, but now, I'm not gonna lie, I'd say Fishies is probably in my bottom 15, 20 albums. It's not bad, but I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. But that being said, I really think this album has its high points. It's got its low points, but I think the high points are enough to put it in S rank. With songs such as Side Boogie and Ackery to close out the album, I think those two songs are so fun and just different from everything else on the record. This Thing is also a banger. The Fishing for Fishies title track, it's in a video game, Sackboy, Big Adventure. I mean, how many Gizz songs can say that? Just a few. So I just think that really makes Fishing for Fishies the perfect album. Maybe it's not perfect in some ways, but the other ways it is perfect, and so it belongs in S. All right, we get to a controversial one. I know we've done a lot of S ranks so far, but now we are at Made in Timeland, and the S ranks are going to continue as Made in Timeland. I know it's not everyone's thing. I know some people think it's just intermission music, or it's they don't even feel like it's King Gizzard. I completely disagree. I think Made in Timeland is slept on. Some people are crazy and they don't even think that it should be regarded as a King Gizzard album. I mean, I think it's album 19 or 20, and I think it's absolutely worth its spot in the discography. But I can understand why it wouldn't be everyone's thing, but it's definitely my thing, so it's going to go in S. All right, so now we are moving on to quarters, as we are, I think, about a quarter of the way through the video, so actually kind of works out perfectly. Quarters has 4 songs on it. You got, they're all 10 minutes and 10 seconds long, and this album is tough for me. I think The River is a good song. It was actually the first Gizz song I ever listened to. I know I listened to Mind Fuzz first, but I checked out The River because I saw someone on Reddit say it was the best. And it's definitely a good song, but I just don't know if it needs to be 10 minutes. Excuse me, I don't know if it needs to be 10 minutes in my opinion. Infinite Rise absolutely does not need to be 10 minutes. I think that's one of the weaker tracks in Gizz's discography in my opinion. But God is in the Rhythm is fantastic. It's my favorite song on the album. And Lonely Steel Sheet Flyer as the closer is also pretty damn good. And while I don't think Infinite Rise is that great, and I'm not in love with The River, I think that the last 2 tracks and quarters are enough to put it in an S rank. All right, moving on to one of my favorite King Gizzard albums, and I'm not even joking. I talked about this album before. I made a retrospective about this album. I've definitely made my love for this album clear, and that is Eyes Like the Sky. Again, I just think this album is overhated. I think a lot of people listen to halfway through the first song and they're like, nah, this isn't for me. I'm gonna just quit. And then forever they're like, yeah, Eyes Like the Sky just isn't for me. When they haven't given the album a chance, and it's really a bummer because Year of Our Lord is such a killer song. It's the second one in the album. I thought the first track was good, and then Year of Our Lord blew me away. And then The Raid following, I'm like, holy shit. It's the first Gizz album to have seamless transitions between songs, and I just thought, wow, I mean, it's seamless transitions. So I think that is what puts it over for me into S. But yeah, Eyes Like the Sky, if you aren't a fan of it, give it another chance, please, because I think it's just way overhated and definitely one of my favorites. Up next is Willoughby's Beach, and yeah, this one I would personally put it in like with the rest of the albums, even though it's not technically an album; it's an EP. But I absolutely do think it is an album, and it belongs to be. I think it's just a kind of like a shorter, souped up version of 12 Bar Bruise, Teenage Gizzard, or I guess Angel C, and their early stuff. I feel like it's just, it's got that early Gizz sound. I think it flows together so well, and it goes into S rank for me. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with that, but I just think with how quick the album is, or the EP, with how quick it is, I feel like each song is very short. It's kind of like Paper Mâché Dream Balloon in that way, where it's like, I don't know, right when you're like, okay, this song is a little bit, it's just kind of getting old, pun intended for Oddments. It gets old, and then the next song comes on, you're like, oh wait, never mind. So that's why I think Willoughby's Beach is definitely slept on a bit, and it belongs in S. And I mean, Nonagon Infinity is of course going to go in S rank as well. Nonagon Infinity, in my opinion, is the best King Gizzard album. I know a lot of people say, oh, the production, it's production. So I don't know what those people are thinking. I think they're smoking a little bit of that devil's lettuce. And so, yeah, I just think those people are wrong, and Nonagon Infinity deserves the top spot. I don't think Wawa is Wawa is probably my least favorite song on the album. But Invisible Face being my favorite Gizz song of all time is enough to make it S rank, even if all the other songs were shit. All right, moving on to, I feel like what was the punching bag for a while, Sketches of Brunswick East. I feel like everybody I saw online was always saying, oh, Sketches sucks, it's just not good, and I just disagree. It is funny though, it was one of the last albums by Gizz that I ever checked out, because I would see that, oh, Mild High Club, who the hell is that? No thank you. I don't want to listen to any collab album. But then I listened to it, and I'm like, oh wait, this is basically just a regular Gizz album. I mean, Mild High Club does have its, influences, but it's not like the whole album just sounds like another band. It sounds like Gizz, and yeah, I love it. I'd say if I had any critiques for it, I just think the title tracks are a little bit redundant. Not bad per se, but I just think that the flow of the album kind of, I don't know, could be better without them. And I wish the album started on Countdown. I just think it's a better opener than Sketches of Brunswick East 1. But yeah, with that said, it does go in S. So, yeah. And I mentioned it earlier, we have Oddments now, which is another one of those punching bag albums that everyone's like, I just don't like this one, which I don't know, I can kind of see for Oddments. I don't see it for Gumboot Soup or Omnium, but for Oddments, all right, I can kind of see it. It just does feel like there's a bit of filler on this album. It just, I don't know, there's sometimes like A, B, C, D, A, B, or A, B, A, B, C, D. I don't know. It's a cool song, but I don't know. And then you got the closing track, Oddments, just is like, I don't know, it's over when you blink and it's over. So I don't know. It's definitely a weird one for me, but I do think that Crying and Pipe Dream are fantastic Cookie songs. He wrote them when Cookie wrote them when he was 16, and I just think those songs are so good. And there are, It's Got Old, you got Work This Time. Work This Time's a little too popular for me to actually like it. I don't know, I think it has too many streams, so it kind of turns me off from it, but it's still a good song, I have to admit. And I just think that it belongs in S. All right, moving on to Ice, Death Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and S tier. Get it? Yeah, this album is awesome. I think a lot of people I've seen say it's like boring. It's just feels like Gizz kind of went in the studio, played some music, and was like, all right, there's the album. Which I mean, it definitely has that vibe, but I think it's a good vibe. And it has paved the way for so many amazing live Gizz songs like Magma, Ice 5. I think Hell's Itch has grown on me so much, even though they don't play that one live. I think it's a killer song. Glee's 710 is fantastic. I'm just waiting. I'm counting the days for them to finally debut that song. It is just chef's kiss. So good. And yeah, Ice Death, absolutely an S. And in this case, S stands for Silver, because we have Silver Accord and another album that I just don't think many people like. But I do, so I'm going to put it in S. And this includes the regular version of the album and the extended mixes. I think both are awesome, and they both have their benefits. Like, I know a lot of people swear by the extended mixes, but I honestly think in a pinch, if you want to listen to Silver Chord and have a good time and not, just listen to an album that's over an album that's over an hour and 10 minutes long, you can't go wrong with the regular versions. I mean, it's like less than 30 minutes. So I think Silver Chord is awesome in both ways. And they just announced a new Silver Chord show where they're going to be playing the entire album in full. So that'll be really, really cool. All right, moving on. We have like 10 albums left, 11, 10. So yeah, let's see where they are going to go in the rankings. We got Float Along, Fill Your Lungs, which honestly, just kidding, it's an S. I love this album. I think it is fantastic. I think the opening track, Head On Pill, is a legendary Gizz song. The closer, the title track, so good. It's probably their best live closing song. I think it just perfectly, ends the night on a chill, uplifting note. So Float Along, Fill Your Lungs is so good. I love Pop In Your Step, 30 Past 7. I know a lot of people don't love I Am Not a Woman, or I Am Not a Man Unless I Have a Woman, but I think it's actually very, very good, and I think those people are wrong. Anyways, moving on to Omnium Gatherum. This is definitely in the contender for my favorite album. I know a lot of people think it's just too jumbled. It's got a lot of, mid-tier filler songs, but those people are wrong. I would go as far as to put it in this little area. I will say I'm not putting these in any specific order, just to let you know. I should have said that earlier. I will say, though, that the album's at the very, very front. This is the best. And Omnium Gatherum, I think it's up there. But Garden Goblin, Evilest Man, Blame It on the Weather. I know I did those out of order, but that's probably one of my favorite 3-song runs. Dripping Tap is fantastic. I'd say the only song in the album I'm not crazy for is Candles. Or no, not Candles, but The Funeral. Candles is fine. I just wish that I think it would be better if The Funeral was part of Candles. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker there. But I like to think I know more than King Gizzard, and I think that might have worked better. I also think that having an Omnium Gatherum title track to close out the album might have been cool. It could have been like a Dripping Tap kind of, reprise. I think that would have been pretty nice. But we didn't get that. However, it's still an S-rank album for me. All right, we are moving on to Infest the Rat's Nest. I mentioned it way back when I talked about Petro. I definitely do enjoy this album a lot. It was in my top 5 there for a while. It's probably in my top 6, I would say. So that's still enough to put it in S rank. I mean, come on. But it's definitely fallen for me a bit. And I definitely think that the live performances have kind of gotten a little stale. I just think that the Petro songs are so much better live that I could use a pause from some Rat's Nest songs, maybe aside from Hell. But Planet B and Mars for the Rich, just a little bit over them. We are moving on to the last 7, or 8. There's just so many albums. But we have Flying Microtonal Banana, which definitely was one that I loved at first, then it kind of fell for me. But now I love it again. I just think that Melting and Open Water is enough for me to check out the album every once in a while, and then I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah, I'm gonna listen to the rest of the album. You got Nuclear Fusion. The closing title track is a little interesting. It's definitely not one I would play in front of Grandma, but when I'm just by myself, I'm gonna play that shit, and I think that it is enough to put it over the edge into S rank. All right, we got the very, very first King Gizzard album with 12 Bar Bruise. 12 Bar Bruise is one of those albums I feel like you either love it or you hate it, and I'm definitely one of those people that loves it. I have a retrospective of this album out on my channel. I know I said I was going to do retrospectives for all the Gizz albums, but I kind of just struggled with ADHD and I lost interest in that, but maybe someday. But for now, we got 12 Bar Bruise in S tier. I have a retrospective on it. Check it out if you'd like. I mentioned earlier, Fishing for Fishies has a song that is in a video game. 12 Bar Bruise also does with Footy Footy. That's really dope. I think more King Gizzard songs should be in soundtracks. And 12 Bar Bruise is awesome. I love the title track. I love the opening 3 tracks. Sea of Trees, really beautiful and sad, but kind of uplifting song in a way. And yeah, 12 Bar Bruise is an S. All right, we got Laminated Denim, which I will put next to its sister, Made in Timeland. How to find it? Actually, gotta have it Made in Timeland first. But Laminated Denim, it was one of those Gizz Tober albums, and I think we all remember how amazing that was, having this, Ice Death, and Changes announced. And just the idea of, holy crap, Laminated Denim, what the hell is it going to be? I didn't even know what to expect, but it was pretty quickly pointed out that it was going to be some way connected to Made in Timeland. So was it going to be all electronic heavy, or was it going to be something else? And it was something else. It was nothing like Made in Timeland, and I love both of them. So Laminated Denim belongs right next to its sister, Timeland. And I will also be doing these two albums together. We got KGLW, all satisfyingly snuggled together. And yeah, KGLW is another fantastic set of albums. It was supposed to be one album, I think, and like COVID kind of ruined things, but I think I actually prefer it being separate. I kind of like that there's KG and there's LW, and I just think that I wouldn't change a thing. I think it works out great. KG will absolutely go up here, and same with LW. Maybe I'll do that just to kind of mess with everyone, have them not next to each other. But yeah, I some highlights from it. I think both KGLW title tracks get the job done. I wish they would play the intro track more for their sets, maybe opening their Microtonal sets more with it would be cool, and then closing with the closer. But you can't have everything that you want. I don't think it'll make a comeback, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Intrasport, Ontology, Honey, Hungry Wolf of Fate is so underrated. Nobody ever talks about that song, and it never gets played live, which is just a bummer. It got played like one time, and Stu messed up the lyrics. So yeah, we could definitely use a do-over on that. I just remember KGLW coming out and being so excited because I had become a Gizz fan around the time Chunky Shrapnel dropped, and KGLW was the first two albums that I got to hear as a Gizz fan that was brand new. And it just did not disappoint it at all. And I love these albums so much. Now moving on to Changes. It's actually kind of funny. Changes and Butterfly 3000 are together because they're kind of similar in sound. Not exactly the same, but Changes definitely a bit more on the piano side of things. Definitely, you got the change or the piano keys on the album cover itself. So. Lots of piano-heavy songs with the title track Change. Well, I guess it's not a title track, but you got Change, Short Change. Hate Dancin' is kind of a forgettable song, but I like it. I'm really not crazy about Gandhi, which is, I guess, a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people love that song, but I don't. It's just okay. But the rest of the album is enough to put it in S rank for me. And now we have the second to last album with Butterfly 3000. I mentioned it already. And this was also another really fun album, as it was the first non-Microtonal new album that I listened to, which is kind of weird. I listened to KGLW, and then Butterfly 3000 came out with no singles. It was very cool. I like how they did that. The whole album just dropped, and it was fresh. I was very excited for it to come out, and the music videos, some of them were really cool, some of them were a little weird, but I have Butterfly 3000 Ocular Edition, kind of like to flex on that, and yeah, some days I like this album more than others, and today I love it, so it goes an S. Alright, so now we are on the last album, and we have Polygondwanaland, and this album is definitely... it's definitely a famous album. A lot of people have heard of this one. A lot of people have it as their favorite, and I definitely agree in some ways. I think that Crumbling Castle is an awesome opener. I think that Polygondwanaland, Deserted Dunes, and Castle in the Air is my favorite 3-song run on the album. I think it's fantastic, and it's such a shame they don't play it live anymore. And then up next, you got Inner Cell, Horology, and Loyalty. I might have got that order mixed up, but those songs are great. They do play those ones live, and it's always so cool. And then they finish off with Tetrachromacy, Searching, and The Fourth Color, and it's a fantastic, perfect album. I think everyone should listen to it at least once, and if it is not your favorite album, give it a few more tries, and if you still don't like it, try drugs. I'd recommend LSD, but just go with whatever you want. If you're feeling Benadryl, go for that. But I will say I do think that the fact that they don't play the title track, Deserted Dunes, and Castle in the Air live anymore really does kind of put it down a bit for me. So I think I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in A tier, and that's it. It's tough. I'm close to putting it in B, but I'm gonna put it in A tier. If they ever end up playing Deserted Dunes and the title track and Castle in the Air live, it will move up to S. But until that happens, yeah, I think it's gonna stay in A. But yeah, that is my tier list. I hope you all enjoyed it. Definitely take my video as the the gold opinion. This is what everyone else should be looking at. If you end up looking at any of these albums in S rank and you say I don't like them, I just think you need to reevaluate your music taste. And once you do that, you'll see the fourth color and you'll realize that I'm right. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are with my video or with my tier list. You don't have to make your own tier list in the comments because it's not going to really matter because mine is the the perfect one. But you can do it if you want, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next video.